So we're going to get started in child's pose today. So coming on to the hands and the knees, toes together. Knees can be spread wide apart if that feels good, or you can keep your knees together. And then starting to sink the hips back to the heels. So melting the hips to the heels, walking the palms forward. Starting to lower down, maybe your forehead can meet your mat or the earth. Staying in your child's pose. Starting to bring your awareness into this moment, into the space that you're in, into the body that you're in. Maybe you can bring some awareness to all the places that feel supported by the earth beneath you. Maybe bring some awareness to all the spaces where the air grazes the skin. Maybe bring some awareness to that space between the brow, that third eye, space that holds our intuition. You can feel it as it rests on the earth. Maybe you can even feel some energy coming up from the earth into that space. And then bringing your awareness into your breath. Where is your breath today? And once you've found your breath, let's bring that breath into our belly. So next inhalation, letting the breath completely expand the belly, and then rise up to the lower part of the lungs, the upper part of the lungs. Taking notice of that space at the top of the inhalation, and then a long, slow exhalation. Letting the breath completely exit the body the same way it came in. Noticing that space at the bottom of the exhalation. That space of complete stillness that connects us to universal consciousness. And then begin again. Long, slow inhalation, maybe even extending the inhalation just by a count of 1 or 2. Noticing that pause at the top of the inhalation. And then a long, slow exhalation. Completely releasing the breath. Taking notice of that pause at the bottom of the exhalation. Continuing to follow your breath. Knowing that for the next moments that we share together, we're going to be following our breath. Following its path, letting it keep us anchored to the present moment. After your next cycle of breath, on an inhalation, we're going to rise up into cat. So inhaling for cat. And then as your shoulders stack over the wrists, on an exhalation, we're arching the low spine, lifting the gaze and the heart as we sink it back into Balasana. Inhaling for cat. And then as the shoulders stack over the wrist, arching the spine, lifting the heart, exhaling Balasana. A couple more rounds at your own pace. Letting this movement be linked with your breath. Your breath is the guide, the movement follows. Inhaling up for cat. This time as we exhale, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So pressing evenly into the palms of the hands, sinking the heels to the earth. Maybe you want to take these first few breaths just to wiggle it out. Do anything that might feel good. Maybe you want to pedal the feet. Tick-tock the hips. And then once you've completed your movement, starting to settle into stillness. So 3 rounds of breath here, full inhalation, full exhalation. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, we're coming onto the balls of the feet. We're going to roll like a wave all the way out into plank. Next inhale, we drop the pelvis, lift the heart, shine it bright. As we exhale, we come into downward facing dog. Take an inhalation. And then as you exhale, lower onto knees, sink it back into Balasana. Inhaling up for cat. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Big inhalation. And then as we exhale, coming onto the balls of the feet, rolling like a wave, vertebra at a time. Inhale, drop the pelvis, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big inhalation. And then as you exhale, lower onto knees, sink it back into Balasana. Inhaling up for cat. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a big inhalation. And as you exhale, coming onto the balls of the feet, rolling like a wave into plank. Inhale, drop the pelvis, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big inhalation. This time as we exhale, we're lowering down onto knees. Inhale, slide it forward, stacking shoulders over wrists. Exhale, chest and chin to the earth, arms tucked into side body. Inhaling up for baby cobra, light on the fingertips. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling baby cobra, letting the large muscles in the low back lift us up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for baby cobra, hold it here. And then as you exhale, pressing into the palms, sink it back into Balasana. Take a few rounds of breath here, knowing that at any time throughout your practice, this is always a place of rest available to you. After your next round of breath, on an inhalation, we're coming up for cat. Exhaling, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take an inhalation. As you exhale, rolling onto the balls of the feet, rolling out into plank. Inhale, drop the pelvis, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhalation here. And as you exhale, lower down onto all fours. Inhale, slide it forward, stacking shoulders over wrist. As you exhale, keeping the elbows tucked into the side body, lower chest and chin to the earth. Inhaling up for baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling up, you can come up into stay in baby cobra. You can press into the palms, come up into full cobra if you're ready for it. Or you can ground down through the forearms, coming into sphinx, shoulders stacked over the elbows. We're gonna be here for a few breaths, so do what feels comfortable for you. Pressing the pelvis into the earth, but the glutes relaxed. Gazing forward. Where is your breath? Maybe after you've been in Sphinx for a full count of breath or breaths, you can push up into Cobra. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, lower down. Just take a moment to rest, to pause. And then rising up, we're going to take our left arm parallel to the top of our mat. Pressing into the forearm. We're going to reach back our right arm for our right foot, grabbing the top of the foot. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to bring that foot into the glute, coming out beside it for a nice quadricep stretch, excuse me. Letting your breath fill up the space in the quad. And as you exhale, you can gently release it. Lowering down and resting if you need a break for the low spine. And then pressing up, right forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Reaching back for the left toes with the left hands. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, start to bring that foot in close to the glute. And then gently release. Lowering all the way down onto the belly. Take a breath. Inhale, and then as you exhale, push it back into Balasana. Keeping the knees together this time. So keeping the knees together, we get a nice counter stretch in the low spine. Taking a few moments in your Balasana to rest, reconnect. And then as you feel ready on an inhale, we're rising up to cat again. So inhaling up for cat. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Next inhalation, we're going to take our right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And then starting to lower the right leg behind the left, we're grabbing the heel in between the big and second toe, and then using the leverage of the right foot to really pull that left heel into the ground, into the earth. Breathing here. Next inhale, lifting up. And then as you exhale, lower down. Next inhalation, we're lifting the left leg to the sky. And then as you exhale, starting to take that left foot behind the right, placing the right heel in between the big and second toe. using the leverage of our left foot to really pull that right heel, ground it down to the earth. Inhale to extend. Exhale, lower down. Coming into tabletop, sink it back into Balasana. Again, take this time to reconnect with your breath if you've lost it. Next inhalation, rising up for cat. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Next inhalation, we're taking the right foot, planting it between the palms. You can stay lifted on the ball of the left foot if you want to keep this not so mellow, or you can lower down onto the left shin. Starting to sink into this low lunge. You can walk the foot forward as much as feels comfortable, keeping the knee generally stacked over the ankle. If you're staying grounded in the left shin, you can let that knee extend out. You don't have to be so cautious about it. And then breathe. Sending your breath to any space in that left hip that might be holding any tension. Let your inhalation expand it, filling it up. And then your exhalation melts, coming a little bit deeper into this posture. Next inhalation, taking our fingertips to the sky. Take an inhalation here. And then as you exhale, taking the palms down to earth, you're dragging the right hip back to meet the left. Inhale to extend long in the spine and the neck. And as you exhale, start to lower over that right leg. Breathing here. Where's your breath? And then starting to flow a little bit with these two postures. So on an inhale, we're coming up, rising, fingertips to the heavens. And as we exhale, we're sliding it back into half split, folding over that right leg. A few more, linking this movement with your own breath. Make it your own. This is your practice. Inhale, fingertips up. Maybe gaze follows. Exhale, half split. This time we're going to hold here. And then starting to take your fingertips, walk them over onto the right side of the leg. So starting to get a stretch in the left side body here. Breathing. After your third round of breath, walking the fingertips back to frame that foot. We're stepping back into the right foot. Again, if you'd like to come up onto the ball of the left foot, you can, but we're going to come into a twist. So inhale, hands to heart. Again, you can be here, or you can stay grounded. Inhale. And as you exhale, twisting to the right, linking that elbow to knee. Maybe gazing over that back elbow. Letting the movement come from your center, but using the leverage of your palms and your elbow to take you a little bit deeper if that feels good. Imagining your breath here is massaging those internal organs, sending them fresh blood, fresh prana. Gently unwinding, taking the palms back down to the earth. We are coming onto the ball of the left foot here. So starting to straighten that right leg, we're coming into wide-legged pyramid. So you can stay on the ball of the left foot. Inhale for a halfway lift. And as you exhale, start to fold over that right leg. Dropping the right heel to the earth, dialing the foot down at an angle. On an inhale, we're coming into warrior one. So both hip points facing forward. Find your drishti. Letting your feet pull the mat apart, but inner thighs pulling together. Lowering the shoulders. Relaxing the face. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're coming into warrior two. So maybe you can sink into that right knee a little bit deeper, keeping that knee tracking out over the toes. If you need to push that out a little bit. Long lines of energy coming out of both fingertips. We are strong. Find your drishti. Keep your focus. After your next round of breath on an inhalation, we're flipping the palm over, we're reversing our warrior. Next round of breath, we're rainbowing, straightening that front leg, taking it parallel to the left, coming into 5 pointed star. Feeling the energy coming up through the legs, thighs engaged, out of our fingertips. Starting to angle the toes towards the corner of the room if they're not already. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, we're sinking into goddess pose. So maybe you want to wiggle around here a little bit. Maybe you don't. Take a few moments just to see what feels good, keeping the pelvis tucked under, sinking down. Taking our palms to our knees. Inhale, we're going to come up just a bit, and as we exhale, we're taking our right shoulder to left knee. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, left shoulder to right knee. Inhale, coming up. A couple more at your own pace. Rising up, taking our feet, arms parallel back to the earth, right toes back to facing forward. Inhale here, reaching forward, pushing that left hip back. And as you exhale, we're coming into Trikonasana. Gazing up over those top fingertips, long on both sides, body, heart rotating to the heavens. And we breathe. Taking our palm and our gaze back down to the earth. We're coming back onto that left shin. Gonna heel toe our right foot out to the edge of the mat. Coming into lizard posture here, so we're grounded here. Again, this is an option. If you wanted to come on the ball of that foot, you could. So finding that spot that feels like it's gonna feel oh so yummy. Take a breath, inhale. And as you exhale, start to settle in. Maybe rolling on the knife edge of the right foot. Again, sending your breath to any spaces that might be holding tension and tightness. Letting each exhalation melt those muscles. Pressing your weight back into the palms, taking the right foot back to meet the left. You can move through a mellow vinyasa if you like, taking the knees to the earth, lowering chest and chin. Coming up for up dog or cobra. And then making your way back into balasana. Taking a few breaths here. Reconnect with your breath. Next inhalation, we're rising up for cat. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then planting the left foot between the palms, lowering the right shin to the earth. Again, your option to stay here is always available. Walking that left foot forward as much as you need to find that nice juicy spot. Start to settle in here. And we breathe. Next inhale, taking our fingertips up. Maybe you can sink in a little bit deeper. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, taking the palms to the earth, we're taking the left hip back in line with the right. Inhale to extend over that left leg. And exhale to fold. And then here we go with our flow. So inhale, rising up. Exhale, take it back, half split. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale for half split. Inhale up. Exhale, half split. This time we're going to take a pause here. Start to walk those fingertips over to the left, getting the stretch in the right side body. Breathing here, letting your breath completely fill up the right side body, stretching it out, stretching the skin from the inside out. Walking the fingertips back around, stepping your weight back into the right foot. Taking our hands to heart. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, right elbow to left knee coming into a twist. Letting the movement come from your center, using the palms to take you deeper if you like. Again, you have this option. Gazing out over that left shoulder, left elbow. Imagining your breath massaging those internal organs. And then taking the palms down to frame that left foot again. We're coming onto the ball of the right foot, straightening the left leg, coming into wide-legged pyramid. So inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Next inhale, we're dialing that right heel down, sinking into that left knee, coming up, warrior one. So both hip points facing forward. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, we're coming into warrior two on the left side. Next inhalation, reversing the palm to reverse our warrior. Keep that heart rotated to the heavens. Maybe your gaze can even follow the fingertips. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, rainbow round, coming into five-pointed star. This time we're going to take our hands to our hips. On an inhale, we lift our heart, our gaze. As we exhale, we're gonna fold, hinging at the waist, coming into wide-legged forward fold. So adjust your stance if you need to. You can take your arms or your hands behind your back and clasp them if you want a shoulder stretch with this as well. You can reach for big toes, using them as leverage to pull you deeper into this fold, or you can just stay grounded here or on blocks. And then once you found that spot, let gravity just take a hold of the head. Next inhale, rising up halfway, take a breath. And then we inhale, we're coming all the way up. Taking the left toes forward, pushing the right hip back, arms extended parallel to the earth. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. And as you exhale, taking the left fingertips down to the earth, Trikonasana on the left side. Gazing up over those right fingertips. Long in both side body. And we breathe. Taking the right palm back down, letting the palms face the left foot. You're dropping that right shin to the earth and then heel toeing the left foot out, coming into lizard on the left side. So again, take that foot maybe as wide as your mat if that feels good. You can come off the ball, the right foot. Inhale to extend, and then exhale, start to sink in. Maybe playing with rolling onto the knife edge of that left foot. Starting to press your weight back into the palms of the hand. Taking the left foot back to meet the right. You can go straight back to downward facing dog or move through a mellow vinyasa. So knees to earth, taking down the chest and the chin. Inhale, slide it forward. Exhale, Balasana. So continuing to stay in your Balasana. With our short little mellow flow for today. Once you feel good in your Balasana, you can make your way onto your back. Stretch it out. Then your Shavasana, your corpse pose. Give yourself at least 5 minutes to integrate, to rest. Thank you for joining me for my very first virtual